What's up, dudes and dudettes? It's June 6th, 2022. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. It is 64 degrees and cloudy here at Site B, and it's time to take a look at all the tabletop role-playing game news, weather, and sports. What's going on in the world of role-playing since last time we talked? UK Games Expo came and went over the weekend. We have no major news from that, which generally I actually is sort of a good thing, because that means nothing controversial happened and no fights broke out. Looks like a lot of the UK game companies were represented, so I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't see a lot of 5th edition, but you saw a lot of the games that are more popular in that part of the world being played, like Call of Cthulhu, the most popular role-playing game in the world. Suck it, Scott. From Modifius, we have a new box set coming out for the Dune role-playing game. This is called Agents of Dune. This is a 116-page box set for about $80. It's got dice, characters, maps, cards, tokens, trackers, things, bits and bobs and stuff. Lots of toys, as you can see in the picture here. So if you haven't been able to pick up Dune yet and you're looking at getting into it, this might be a good way to find out if the Dune role-playing game from Modifius is something you want to buy. Pathfinder Paizo has announced that the 5th edition version of Abomination Vault's Adventure Path will be out sometime in November, and it'll cost about $60, while the second Pathfinder 2nd edition version is $55. Now, this is the third time that they've announced it's coming out, which I don't really get, because we already knew it was coming out. So why are you telling us it's coming out again? And you've done it 2 times now. This is the 3rd time. There was no announcement. It was delayed. So is this just Paizo going, hey, remember when we said we were going to do the thing? Well, we're just reminding you. We're going to do this thing. And no, this does not mean that Wizards of the Coast is buying Paizo. That's never going to happen. And also, Wizards of the Coast doesn't buy anything. Hasbro is responsible for any purchases that would end up in Wizards of the Coast pocket. But that is not happening simply because they're making a 5e product. It's because they see that the market is open to 5e products that are good as, if not better, than the crap that Wizards of the Coast is putting out. There's a new book from the Critical Role library. Critical Role Del Rey Books Darrington Press has announced that the second book of the Mighty 9 book series is coming out. It's called The 9 Eyes of Lucian, and it's being written by Madeline Rowe. I don't know who that is or if they have any connection with the Mighty 9 campaign or not, but hey, more stuff from Darrington Press is always a possibly good thing. And speaking of Darrington Press and Critical Role, there's another book coming out called Kith and Kin. This is for the Vox Machina series. This is also coming out sometime in November. Doesn't say who wrote this one, so maybe it was written in-house. Speaking of in-house, Free RPG Day is coming up in a few weeks, June 25th in North America and July 23rd for the rest of the world. Free RPG Day is kind of like the lesser-known younger brother of Free Comic Book Day. It's a chance for, brick-and-mortar game shops to get a bunch of free stuff from role-playing publishers and use it as a way to maybe get people into the store. Sadly, from my experience, it seems much more incentivized for stores to do Free Comic Book Day than it does for Free RPG Day. Because stores that do Free Comic Book Day tend to make more money off, so the point that it's actually worth it for them to do the Free Comic Book Day. And no store that I'm aware of that has done free role-playing game day has ever made a profit off of it, which is why, at least where I live, so few stores doing it. It might be different where you live. I'm just speaking about my personal experience, so don't get mad at me. I'm just going to say that where I live, the few times stores have done Free RPG Day, they were only able to get bits and pieces of the stuff, and it wasn't worth it for them. So if you are lucky enough to live someplace where you do have a game store that is going to do this, get in early to get all the free shit. If you can't get the free shit, don't worry about it. Almost all the product you're going to see at Free RPG Day will be available either the day of or the day after on that company's website as a free PDF, usually, or over a drive-thru. As for the physical stuff, like the figures and stuff like that, you're going to be harder pressed to find those, but those often go up for free on eBay for outrageous prices. So yeah, there is a locator on the Free RPG Day site if you want to see if a store in your country is carrying it. Cross your fingers. Steve Jackson's Games has made a very controversial statement. They have announced that they will no longer be shipping to international countries for any of their Kickstarters. So if you live in, I don't know, Belgium, and you just kickstarted GURPS Martial Arts Volume 3, which I wrote, by the way, and are expecting them to ship it to Belgium, nope, not going to happen. So any Kickstarters going forward, they're not going to ship the physical stuff to countries outside of their current, that they consider international, because it's either too more expensive because of the current shipping costs, or there's all sorts of custom and legal requirements that are making it just harder and harder to ship things to other countries. I don't know where Steve Jackson Games is located currently. Last I remember it was somewhere in Texas, but I could be wrong. I don't know what Steve Jackson Games considers international. I do know that in some cases it's actually more expensive to ship from one point in the USA to the other point of the USA than it is to ship internationally. Just because the way shipping in the USA works. So is this a choice that's gonna shape the future of gaming and stab Steve Jackson Games in the back? I mean, I can understand that it's just financially not feasible to continue shipping Kickstarter stuff to other countries, especially for the physical stuff. But on the other hand, that's where's my incentive for Kickstartering anything other than the PDF, which eventually will be free anyways, if I'm not going to get the physical stuff. The only reason to Kickstart, other than you really, really support the company. Yeah, I need more caffeine, sorry. Oh, and the weather just changed. Now it's becoming sunny for 5 minutes, and I can feel it in my head already. Okay. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Usually when you Kickstart something, you're going to spend the extra money because you want the free doodads. If you just want the PDF, well, that's what, bare minimum, $3 to $5 to get the PDF. And chances are you could just wait because that PDF is going to be available anyways. It might be more expensive or it might be less expensive. The only reason to Kickstart something for a PDF is because you really, really support the company. Why do I keep saying country? Really, really support the company, or you really, really need it, or you think getting the PDF now is better than waiting and to see if it's going to be more expensive. I mean, yeah, the PDF will probably be cheaper for the Kickstarter version than the regular PDF. But really, the only reason to Kickstart something is to get the free physical stuff. Otherwise, why bother? So unless they're going to lower the price for the PDFs or give you something else for the PDFs, I don't see anything good coming out of this. I understand why they're doing it, but anyways. Owlcat Games, developers of the Pathfinder video game series, has announced a video game for Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Players will take on the role of rogue traders. Really? Okay. And do rogue trader stuff in the space-based world of Warhammer 40k. There are a lot more Warhammer-related video games than you would think. All of them are usually pretty good, but tend to be slightly more expensive than, say, other video games. Like this one, bare minimum price is going to be $45 to download this day one from Steam. But yeah, if you're a Warhammer space strategy game person kind of thing that likes that kind of stuff, check this out. No major bad news other than the Steve Jackson Games thing. That's always a good thing. And nothing really exciting, which, sad, but I mean, any week where there's no controversy related to anything role-playing related is always good. So I will take neutral because I'd rather have no news than bad news. So a neutral week so far with nothing really major coming out of anything going on. Good stuff. Yeah. All right. That's it. Anything else that I might have missed before we move on? No? Okay, that's it for the game news for the day. We'll be back in just a second with the Freebies Bundles news. If you appreciate this content, let me know. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, please consider subscribing and helping me reach my goal of 1,000 subs. Till next time, I have been your guide to all the tabletop role-playing game news, weather, sports, and my inability to form a cohesive sentence that is the OGGM. Get off of my spice, you damn Dune people with your damn spice traders and your giant worms and whatever. I don't even know that. What are you wearing? I mean, what is that? How does that actually functional?